រាតិកានឹងជួយធ្វើឲ្យកម្មវិធីលោកអ្នកកាន់តែមានភាពអស្ចារ្យលោកអ្នកនឹងបានឃើញរាល់សកម្មភាពក្នុងពិធីទៅលើកញ្ចក់ទូរទស្សន៍ទំហំធំកម្រិត 4K និងការបញ្ចាំងលើផ្ទាំងក្រណាត់សព្រមទាំង LED ដែលមានរូបភាពច្បាស់ត្រជាក់ភ្នែកសូមអញ្ជើញកក់ពីឥឡូវនេះតាមរយៈលេខទូរស័ព្ទ012 823 848 017 838 889និង016 823 848រាតិកាទំនុកចិត្តការទទួលខុសត្រូវនិងគុណភាពខ្ពស់រាតិកា Entertainment ក្រុមតន្ត្រីអាជីពកំសាន្តបែបស្រាលពីរោះមិនថ្លង់ភ្ញៀវរំភើបចិត្តពិធីរឹតតែអស្ចារ្យ Relax រាតិកា Entertainment ញ៉ាំងឲ្យកម្មវិធីលោកអ្នកកាន់តែមានភាពអធិកអធមរាតិកា Entertainment ក្រុមតន្ត្រីដ៏ល្អសម្រាប់ក្រុមគ្រួសារលោកអ្នកសូមអញ្ជើញកក់ពីឥឡូវនេះសម្រាប់កម្មវិធីលោកអ្នកតាមរយៈលេខទូរស័ព្ទ017 838 889 012 823 848និង016 823 848
If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of our platforms and channels. The EAC News app, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eacnews.asia. EAC News' passionate team of reporters, writers, cameramen and video editors are hard at work around the clock, bringing you world-class reports on everything from local and regional news to the latest international stories and the most dramatic footage from around the world. It takes meetings, research, phone calls and emails. And that's before we even get out of the newsroom and onto the set.
I'm Anthony Ellis, a news reporter for EAC News. Thanks for watching.
Cambodian tourist to China.
I'm Kristen Winters. I'm a news reporter with EAC News. Thank you for watching.
I'm Darshana Gauchan, EAC News reporter. Thanks for watching us.
I'm Dekha Nim, Sales and Marketing Manager at EAC News. Thank you for joining us.
I am Honsray Watt, EAC News Channel Manager. Thank you for watching us.
EAC News, English language news show, Cambodia's most comprehensive. The Daily Roundup on the EAC News channel, shooting interviews into the field. And those pieces to camera. Join us and subscribe. We wouldn't want you to miss a thing. The Daily Roundup on the EAC News channel. EAC News, Cambodia made clear.
You're watching EAC News.
Thanks for joining us.
Watching EAC News, thank you for joining us. Prime Minister Hun Manet instructed his accompanying delegation to seize the opportunity to meet with foreign investors to attract more business to Cambodia. He said that as a figure that is trusted by the people, he must do his best to serve and benefit his constituents. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has more.
Speaking at the meeting in Paris with more than 2,000 Cambodians living in the European Union on Sunday, the Prime Minister said that he will try to bring foreign investments to Cambodia through successful negotiations. He said that with the combined efforts of him and his delegation, Cambodia can improve its business's relationship with France and the rest of the world. The Prime Minister is leading a Cambodian delegation to France and Switzerland for an official visit from January 13th to the 19th. During his visit, he will attend the World Economic Forum in Switzerland and pay a state visit to France from January 18th to 19th. He revealed that he will meet with the French companies and representatives of French-speaking countries while attending over 40 businesses meeting. He said that this is a visit to attract more investment to Cambodia and advised all ministers and officials accompanying him to meet with more guests to convince them to do businesses in Cambodia. He said that knocking on the doors and making introductions was a successful strategy during his recent visit to China and Japan, which could attract billions of dollars in investment companies to Cambodia, while also opening up Cambodian goods to foreign markets.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Experts from the Apsara National Authority are pairing with the Korea International Cooperation Agency to restore damaged structures at the Terrace of Elephants at Angkor Thom. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has the details.
Project manager of the Korean Culture Heritage Foundation, Park Ji-min, said the restoration is underway in two different parts, 20 metres in the north and 15 metres in the south. In the process of restoring, the team focuses on several important tasks, such as strengthening and foundations, strengthening the relevant structures inside and below, and reassembling the walls of the sloping platform and the corrugated stone. Park Ji-min said that the findings at the two sites are similar. The wall surface is tilted and may collapse. In addition, the laterite of the sandstone blocks have decayed due to age and rain damage. Also, the bottom drain causes the bottom foundation to lose balance. Architect of the Department of Conservation and New Monuments and Preservative Archaeological of the Apsara National Authority, Plumtit Chanapadet, said that much of the damage is due to tree roots growing into the structure, causing some stones to move out of their original position and creating the allow water to seep in. Over the months, experts have been removing part of the floor and walls to review the condition of the laterite walls and rearrange the laterite sandstone to its original location and some of the damaged areas, as well as to fix it, but it still cannot be fixed. The team will replace with new stone. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. President of the Cambodian Human Rights Committee, Cao Remy, met with the EU ambassador to discuss the CHRC's progress in human rights, along with cooperation between Cambodia and the EU on related issues. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has the story.
During yesterday's meeting, the CHRC president welcomed EU Ambassador Egil Driesman and his delegation to highlight the success outlined in the draft of Cambodia's fourth Universal Periodic Review, which will be submitted to the UN this year. The report will then be sent to Prime Minister Hun Manet for review before continuing on to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Cao Remy said his commitment to the organised 32 consultants with the stakeholders to help with the UPR draft, in addition to meeting with the Council of Ministers on September 19, 2023, and the Council of Jurists of December 19, 2023. He also mentioned the regular monitoring of the human rights situation in detention centres such as prisons, correctional centres and rehabilitation facilities, and assessed that it was improving. He requested the ambassador to examine the possibility of strengthening cooperation between the CHRC and the EU delegation, together with the UN's Office of Human Rights. Ambassador Driesman thanked the CHRC president for taking the time to meet with him and commended the committee's efforts in promoting and protecting human rights in Cambodia. He welcomed the request to strengthen cooperation with the EU and the UN Office of Human Rights. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. During his first official state visit to France, Prime Minister Hun Manet was greeted by over 1,000 Cambodians who live in the European Union. During his speech to the crowd, he warned his critics not to disrespect the Cambodian people by insinuating they had been paid to show up and show support. During yesterday's meeting, the Prime Minister said the Khmer people are patriotic and never abandon each other. He said that Cambodians everywhere are united, loving, understanding, and sympathetic.
សូមកុំមើលស្រាលប្រជាពលរដ្ឋខ្មែរស្មារតីនៃការរួមគ្នាក្នុងនាមជាជាតិខ្មែរនេះឈាមគេហៅឈាមខាប់ជាទឹកបាទនៅទីណាក៏ដោយសុខចិត្តឈាបចូលគ្នាដើម្បីជួបជុំគ្នាហើយគឺបង្ហាញស្មារតីអំពីការស្រឡាញ់គ្នារាប់អានគ្នាហើយជាពិសេសការចង់ដឹងឈឺឆ្អាលអំពីប្រទេសជាតិរបស់ខ្លួន
Prime Minister Hun Manet is leading a Cambodian delegation to France during an official visit from January 13th through 19th. When he arrived in France, many Cambodians greeted him at the hotel where he was staying and attended a get-together with the Prime Minister afterwards. During his visit, he will attend the World Economic Forum from January 16th through 17th in Switzerland, while returning to France from January 18th through 19th. Kristen Winters, EAC News. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. With Senate elections approaching next month, the Cambodian government is warning the few opposition parties left to adhere to Cambodian laws, particularly the new ones in place that threaten them with dissolution if they collaborate with anyone convicted in the Cambodian courts. On Friday, the Ministry of Interior demanded that all political parties registered to participate in the February 25th Senate elections suspend all activities that violate the law on political parties. While the ministry did not name any specific parties, it did say that exiled politician Sam Rainsy, who has racked up multiple charges from the Cambodian courts, recently issued a call to 3 political parties to carry out various activities that break the law. In fact, Rainsy called on the Candlelight Party, the Nation Power Party, and the Khmer Will Party to work together to secure Senate seats in next month's election. All Senate seats are currently held by the Prime Minister's Cambodian People's Party. In Friday's statement, the Ministry of Interior cited the new Article 6, which prohibits political parties from, quote, inciting or conspiring with a person convicted of a felony or a misdemeanor to take any action for the political benefit of his political party, end quote. The ministry said that violating the new law could result in a 5-year suspension or total dissolution of the party by the courts. The last major opposition party to pose a threat to CPP power, the Cambodian National Rescue Party, or CNRP, was dissolved in 2017, when many of its members fled the country. While the Candlelight Party, one of the only opposition parties left, has not been officially dissolved, it has been prohibited from this year's and last year's elections due to, quote, insufficient paperwork. It continues to face the possibility of being dissolved due to accusations that it is related to Sam Rainsy. On another front, former Prime Minister Hun Sen took to social media to mock former CNRP Vice President Eng Chai-ien for calling on Cambodians to be brave, while he himself fled the country in 2017. The former CNRP Vice President had posted a message encouraging the remaining political opposition in Cambodia to be brave and not to cave to the Ministry of Interior's warning. On Saturday, former Prime Minister Hun Sen posted to his Facebook, asking of Eng Chai-ien, why did you run then and encourage bravery now? In 2023, CNRP leader Kem Sokha was sentenced to 27 years of house arrest due to statements seen as treasonous. He was one of the few high-level officials of the CNRP left in the country. Kristen Winters, EAC News. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Tbong Khmum Province will hold a traditional fishing ceremony on February 17th to commemorate the preservation of ancient heritage in the area. In 2023, more than 60,000 people attended the ceremony. An announcement from the Memot District Administration of Tbong Khmum Province said that the ceremony will start on Saturday, February 17th at 9 a.m. at the Trapiang Krom Lake Sa Village. Tbong Khmum Governor Chiam Chan Saupuan and his wife will be participating in the celebration of traditional fishing. The Memot District Administration asked that people and traders prepare equipment for traditional fishing, including angrut, chining, and troch, all fishing gear made from bamboo and rattan that Cambodians have used for centuries. Fishing in the lake is prohibited throughout the year in order to protect the wildlife. For this one day, however, the community gathers to celebrate their fishing traditions. The traditional fishing ceremony is held to commemorate the preservation of the ancient heritage in the area, as well as to provide an opportunity for the public to gather and visit at the natural beauty around Trapeang Krom Lake, which is a sacred ancestral site. Last year, the ceremony featured traditional Khmer dance and music as well. Kristen Winters, EAC News. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Minister of Interior, Saw Soka, and U.S. Ambassador to Cambodia, W. Patrick Murphy, have praised the results of cooperation between Cambodian and U.S. law enforcement agencies in information sharing and the prevention and suppression of all forms of crime. On Friday, the two men met to discuss diplomatic relations and promote cooperation on multiple fronts. During the meeting, the Minister of Interior expressed his support for the long-standing diplomatic relations between Cambodia and the United States, especially in people-to-people relations, which he said have contributed to development, growth, and mutual benefit on both sides. Minister Saw Soka also thanked Ambassador Murphy for the efforts put forth during his diplomatic mission, saying that he has always focused on promoting cooperation between Cambodia and the United States in key areas such as economy, politics, trade, environment, national defense, and security. The U.S. ambassador thanked the Minister of Interior for allowing him and his colleagues to pay a courtesy call. He congratulated the progress and fruitful results of the two countries' relations in the past and hoped that the legal cooperation between the two sides would continue to yield positive results in the future. Kristen Winters, EAC News. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Following today's termination of the mayor of Kep on corruption charges, Prime Minister Hun Manet posted a message on his social media to all government officials, warning them to clean up their act to avoid losing their positions. Since the Prime Minister took office in August, the new administration has been working to remove corruption from its governing systems. The government is using a metaphor that compares itself to a person trying to rid its body of an infection or cancerous growth. The Prime Minister is pushing a 5-step approach that involves self-reflection and identifying the issue, cleaning the wound or immediate response, damage control, and treatment or resolving the situation. If the first 4 steps fail, the government says it will use the surgery approach to remove the corrupt official. The post was made following the announcement that the mayor of Kep had been terminated following an investigation of the anti-corruption unit. The Prime Minister said that he hopes all government officials will adhere to the first 4 approaches on a regular basis and serve the people well to avoid reaching the implementation of the 5th approach, where they are removed. The 5-step approach was recommended by former Prime Minister Hun Sen and continues to be used under his son's administration. Simply put, it requires officials to own up to their mistakes and make an effort to correct them. Those who do not or cannot will face strict legal measures. Kristen Winters, EAC News. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Prime Minister Hun Manet has set forth certain goals and policies since taking office in August. Many of his strategies are part of his Economic Pentagon Strategy, a roadmap for Cambodia's ascent to high-income level status by 2050. In addition to systemic reforms, the current administration is focusing on preserving Cambodia's traditions, social values, and culture in the face of globalization. Speaking at the closing ceremony of the Ministry of Women's Affairs Labor Conference yesterday, the Prime Minister highlighted 2 cultural values that must be preserved to promote Cambodia's cultural identity: the Khmer language learning and traditional femininity.
ហើយអត្តសញ្ញាណនិងវប្បធម៌ត្រូវរួមថែរក្សាពីមួយជំនាន់ទៅមួយជំនាន់បើមិនចឹងទេបើសិនជាជំនាន់យុវជនជំនាន់នេះគាត់បាត់អត្តសញ្ញាណមួយជំហានពេលដែលគាត់ខ្លាយទៅជាឪពុកម្ដាយគេនឹងបាត់មួយជំហានតទៀត
He then noted the importance of teaching and learning the Khmer language in schools. He instructed the Ministry of Education to make sure that all schools, including international schools, allow Khmer children to learn the Khmer language. He emphasized that there is no ban on learning other languages, but that learning Khmer is integral to preserving cultural identity. Prime Minister Hun Manet also had a message to women, emphasizing that while the rights and freedoms of individuals, especially women, need to be promoted, it should not come at the cost of losing social values, traditions, and culture. The comment was apparently a response to recent videos made by female content creators who use sexually suggestive dances and outfits to sell products online. He said that such marketers had lost their Khmer femininity and that they must be, quote, educated on their wrongs so that they can change their ways.
អញ្ចឹងនៅកម្ពុជាយើងសិទ្ធិសេរីភាពរបស់បុគ្គលជាពិសេសស្ត្រីចាំបាច់ត្រូវតែលើកតម្កើងប៉ុន្តែមិនត្រូវហួសព្រំដែនជាពិសេសមិនត្រូវឲ្យបាត់បង់នៅអត្តសញ្ញាណដែលជាស្ត្រីខ្មែរ
The Prime Minister also encouraged the Ministry of Women's Affairs to help Cambodian women maintain the value of their national identity. Kristen Winters, EAC News. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. National Assembly President Khun Sotari said that the National Assembly of Cambodia welcomes all European Parliament delegations to strengthen parliamentary cooperation for peace and sustainable development for the people. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has more.
European MP and the first Vice President of the International Trade Committee, Jan Zahradil, met with the National Assembly President today to exchange views and dialogue for the sake of the Cambodian-EU cooperation. President Khun Sotari emphasised that the National Assembly of Cambodia always welcomes European Parliament delegations to visit to strengthen and expand good relations and cooperation with each other in order to ensure peace, social stability and respect for human rights, democracy and the rule of law for sustainable development and people at the core. The two dignitaries agreed that now is an important time for further strengthening their friendship and the cooperation based on the interests of the people from both regions. The National Assembly underlined that the friendship and cooperation between Cambodia and the European Union began in 1994 and that the two sides signed an agreement in 1997. Europe is a key humanitarian and a trade partner of Cambodia. During the first fight of COVID-19, the EU provided financial assistance to Cambodia twice to reduce social economic impacts, totaling €499 million. The two leaders also discussed the good relations between the two countries, especially in the people-to-people relations, which established deep emotional connections. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. The Apsara National Authority is cooperating with South Korean agencies to restore the Chum Temple using anastylosis technique, which involves dismantling the temple structure to repair the foundation, strengthen the lower structures, repair broken stones, and reassemble the temple to its original form. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has the details.
Apsara National Authority architect Tai Yamnang said that the project began in 2019. The team started with excavation, research, damage assessment planning, sourcing documents from the French colonial area, and dismantling the stone with the anastylosis technique, which was divided into two stages. The temple is made of 35 stone layers with 3,580 pieces of sandstone and 4,100 pieces of laterite. He added the collapsed in the damaged areas of the foundation needs to be replaced with new laterite, and the team is currently running tests to restore the floor and reassemble the entire temple. Tai Yamang added that about 30% of the original stones that have fallen from the structure were found, with some damage and requiring careful repair and treatment. He noted that finding the temple's original stone is difficult because some are mixed with piles of stone in the surrounding area. Chum Temple was nearly lost in its original shape due to its age, lack of long-term maintenance, damage during the war, and the natural factors such as rainwater erosion and invasive tree roots. The team hopes the restoration project will be completed in 2025. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. While visiting Japan this week, former Prime Minister Hun Sen took time to post to social media to disavow his opponents who say he went abroad for medical treatment and hoped he would not return. The former Prime Minister vowed that he would live long enough to rid Cambodia of political extremists. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has the story.
Apparently, the former Prime Minister had read online comments that suggested he was in poor health and had to go to Japan for bloodletting, hoping that he might not return. Yesterday, the former Prime Minister posted a message on his Telegram to anyone questioning his health. He wrote, I would like to tell you that Hun Sen's health will continue to thrive until the extremists are eliminated from Cambodia. I would like to advise those who speak of my health to protect their own health rather than thinking of mine. He then reminded everyone that he will return today at 2 p.m. Former Prime Minister Hun Sen left for Japan on January 9th and is due to return to Cambodia today with a 10-year supply of prosthetic eyes following his doctor's visits. During his visit, he met the Japanese Prime Minister, Kishida Fumio, the former Japanese Foreign Minister, head of Japan-Cambodia Alliance, and the former head of UNITAC mission that helped restore Cambodia's democracy in the early 1900s. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Secretary of State for the Ministry of Agriculture, Yang San-Koma, said that in March 2024, the Ministry of Agriculture will recruit 800 commune agriculture officers, with plans to recruit 1,600 by the beginning of 2025. EAC News reporter Anthony Ellis has the details.
In a video released yesterday, the Secretary of State said that 250 commune agriculture officers will soon be sent to 17 communes. The ministry will train the officers for 1 month before they are deployed in March. The officers will then continue to receive monthly training. The training will involve lessons on disseminating information, working with farmers, gathering relative information, cultivation techniques, animal husbandry, and agriculture.
ប៉ុន្តែជារួមគឺមន្ត្រីកសិកម្មឃុំហ្នឹងគាត់មានតួនាទីសម្របសម្រួលច្រើនជាងជាអ្នកជំនាញបច្ចេកទេសព្រោះនៅក្រសួងកសិកម្មរុក្ខាប្រមាញ់និងនេសាទយើងរៀបចំឲ្យមានក្រុមពហុជំនាញដែលខ្លាយជាគ្រូបណ្ដុះបណ្ដាលឬខ្លាយជាអ្នកផ្ដល់បច្ចេកទេសបន្ថែម
The Secretary of State said that the commune agriculture officers will need to establish warm relations with farmers, and their role involves determining the challenges and needs of farmers in order to find solutions from professional institutions and support production related to the supply chain. The officials will be responsible for encouraging farmers to increase production and income. Anthony Ellis, EAC News.